So here's a moment a lot of people have been waiting for. We're speaking with Avril Lavigne. She is on the cover of the November-December issue of Canadian Musician. Brand new album, 5th studio record. It's called simply Avril Lavigne. It's out November 5th. And one of the first questions we had was about why she decided to go with this self-title.
It's really all over the map, both ends of the spectrum. It's very versatile. I've got a song, there's like a rock song with Marilyn Manson. There's a love ballad that's a duet with Chad. Hello Kitty, it's electronic. And then the first two singles you heard, they're more pop rock. It's nostalgic, there's summer songs, and then there's like piano, really raw, like moody, deep shit. It's all over the place, and that's why it's self-titled. And with the choice of the cover, with it being a very strong headshot, I didn't want to put a label on that.
Yeah, we also had the chance to ask, with that wide array of musical styles and influences on this record, I was curious to hear from Avril's perspective what the really new sonic elements were here. If there was anything that made it onto the record, a sound and approach to songwriting that maybe her fans haven't heard from her before. Here's what she had to say.
Well, I mean, Let Me Go is very orchestral, but so is I'm With You and Keep Holding On. But sonically, things are different on this record. Hello Kitty, it's the first time I've ever, it's like a heavy electronic sound, and the first song that I've done, and only song I've ever recorded that is this way. There's also some Japanese in it. Give You What You Like is sonically different because it's almost very indie sounding, and like we're standing around the microphone and recording stomp and hand clap and banging on like road cases and other stuff that's new. Hush. Well, Bad Girl it's really heavy, and the effect on the mic is called slapback. Is it a little bit of slapback, and it has like a live distortion sound. And I actually held the mic in the control room, so I wanted it to sound like it was like a live on concert, so it's like super distorted. And that I haven't done that before.
Just to switch gears a little bit to the live show, and when you're going to be touring, like hitting the road really heavily supporting this album, considering, looking back, you've got 5 studio records, not only that, which is a lot for anybody, but the fact that, your first one came in your teens during a really formative time, we've seen a real growth from you, I suppose, as a writer. So when you perform, I'm wondering what goes into choosing your set list, and is it ever a struggle for you trying to find a good mix of stuff that you enjoy playing that's close to you, but that you know that your fans will be receptive to?
The number one rule is you must play all singles. Like, some bands think it's not cool to play some of their hits because they just think it's not cool and they're trying to be like all fucking whatever, but I think you need to play the big songs. Like, even if you don't like singing them, you have to. For me, that's the most fun part of the concert is when, like, everyone, like, freaks out when they hear the hits. I can't even tell you how nice it is now to have 5 records under my belt and to have so much material to work with. My first tour was very challenging for me because I only had one record. The other thing I like to do is I like really playing the fast songs. So I wrote the best damn thing thinking about tour. Tour was in my mind. Like, what do I want to play on stage? And I was thinking about that. So I typically play a lot of the fast songs, all the singles, and then my favorite, like, ballads. Because, I always make the show, like, I like to start out fast and end on a bang.
Right on.
So usually in the middle of the show is when everything kind of comes down and the piano rolls out and we get all moody, bring the fog machine, talk a little bit.
I'm really appreciate your time, and I've only got one more for you just to end it off. I think it works beautifully. I may be grasping at straws here, so feel free to tell me to take a hike, but I'm just wondering, now that you're kind of not entering, but looking back on your career, a lot of it, like we talked about, came out during your teens, and it was a really quick rise to the spotlight. I'm wondering, is there anything that you're ever looking back on your career and thinking, like, I wish I knew what I know now back then, as far as the way you've navigated the industry or anything along those lines?
Yeah, I think that when I look back, I wouldn't change anything, and I think I did a good job because I worked really hard, I stayed really focused, and I really tried to follow my gut, but sometimes people are annoying on the business end, and that's the only thing that can get messy is when there's chaos and noise, but you're trying to create. You have to figure out how to really do everything for yourself. And so being as young as I was, I didn't know what the hell was going on at first, but then you live and you learn. And the most important part is to have fun. And I try to remember that whenever, things are nuts. And I'm doing this today because I want to do this, not because I have to. And I feel really grateful to still have this opportunity to make and to create music. And my fans they've been really amazing. And social media, getting to see what they're saying on Twitter and connect with them is really cool. But they have such a strong presence, and I can, they're around, and I get to see that, and it's all because of them.
And there you have it. We'll be back with more Canadian Musician Radio in just a second.